Welcome to Asgard, the marvels and the knights, exploring all the universe's shining bright lights. The stories that inspire, the characters we know. We're breaking down the boundaries, ready, set, go! We're the guides to your journey through the multiverse. With every episode we aim to immerse. DJ and Mitch, bringing culture to the fore. Culturally sublime, there's always more to explore. Sublime, where culture meets the mind. Heroes, myths, and legends all redefined. From comics to the big screen, and all that's in between. Join us on the ride where the sublime is seen. So tune in, buckle up, it's a cultural climb with DJ Mitch on Culturally Sublime.
Dude, good times, man. Can't wait to talk about this one, baby.
I know, man. This weekend we went out and we saw Deadpool and Wolverine, and it was just great.
I give
And
I give it a 10 out of 10.
Oh, that's
pretty damn high.
what is the hold on. I don't remember what 10 is.
I don't either. Ooh, maybe, you know what? Maybe no, because this is one that I could definitely rewatch over and over again, I feel.
Oh, that's Tungsten Carbide Hazelnut.
Hey, there we go.
Unbeatably awesome
Yeah.
and representing the pinnacle. And I would have to agree with you that
Yeah.
I have absolutely zero complaints in regard to this movie, except for some minor confusion. And before we dive into some spoiler territory, based off the previous way that I used to do movie reviews, is that we would talk about it with no spoilers, giving people just our general thoughts, whether we thought it was good, whether, what we liked or what we didn't like in regard to, just the beating around the bush, so to speak.
Yeah.
And then giving the opportunity to say, hey, you can fast forward through this. Perhaps we'll just do this as a bonus pod, put it out, and then, start over and do our regularly scheduled programming. So that being said, let's go ahead and do both.
Okay.
Start with your spoiler-free chit-chat and then move forward to the deeper stuff after.
It's going to be rough trying to do spoiler free. I can do it.
Just, like a few minutes.
Yeah.
That way if people are hearing this, they're just like, okay, I don't want to hear the rest.
Yeah.
And then, we'll just give a spoiler warning and then we'll just go
Yeah.
hog wild.
Hog wild. We're not going to do any bush beating. There will be no beating around the bush. We're going right in the bush, right?
Why did they beat around the bush?
Because you got to keep the bush. If you beat around the bush is still intact. The bush is very important. So if you're beating around the bush, I don't know. I really don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, have you ever said to somebody, like, just beat the bush already?
Oh, I'd say it all the
You know
time.
what I mean?
In many different facets of life. I'm like, you know what? Just go straight through the bush. Don't hold back.
There's so many things that we say that mean the contrary,
Mhm.
but we don't say the version of it. Like, oh, not too shabby.
Mhm.
Like, nobody says I'm fucking shabby, bro.
Yeah. I'm going to start now. You got me. I'm going to be like, how you doing tonight? Whew. Man, I am shabby as fuck. Oh, so there we
Shabby
go.
as
Yeah, like I
fuck.
said, we did that episode. However many was that? One of our very first ones was talking about sayings, and I don't think beating around the bush was one of them. We had about the bird in a hand. It was a bird in your hand is worth two in your bush.
In the bush.
Yeah,
But yes.
yeah. Something about birds and bushes. We could just have a bush related episode, maybe.
Just bush.
Yep. Birds in the bush, beating around the bush, trimming your bush, everything.
I knew a guy named Andy Bush.
Oh. There was a baseball player named Homer Bush. He played
Homer Bush.
Homer Bush. He played for the Yankees for a skosh.
Wow.
Yep. And then we
got a whole
few
Bush-related
ex-presidents.
episode.
The Bush father and son, Georges. So
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, we could do.
This is a bush-filled country.
It is very bushy. We're
We
living
could
in a
talk about the
bushy
70s.
world.
We could talk about the 70s.
Yeah, 70s had a lot of
You know,
bush. Old Playboys had a lot of bush.
just you talk about the French.
We.
All right. So let's hit him with this. Let's hit him with some
Excuse me.
Deadpool talk.
Yes, yes. First off, we went to the Du Bois Theater. That's the first I'd been there in 5 years, and that was crazy because to people that are around, that live around here, they had the Du Bois Theater has 5 theaters or 5 screens,
Yes.
and we knew that the one we went to was sold out. And here, when we were talking to the girl while we were getting our drinks and our popcorn, she was like, "Yeah, it's in 2 screenings, and both of them are sold out."
No, it was in 4.
I thought she said 2. No, because Twisters was playing. Twisters and something else was
Oh,
playing. She said it was in. She said it was in 4 and 5 because
so
we were in theater 4, and then it was also playing in theater 5.
last night I was looking at the times, and they had 4 theaters, and all of them were sold out.
Holy shit! I know. I'm almost positive she said that it was in 2 theaters. Maybe she did say 4. Maybe when I heard
Yeah.
4, because I knew we had to go to theater 4 because any other time I've gone to Du Bois, I seem to always go into the farther one.
Right.
And she was like, "Well, remember, you don't want to go to that one. You want to go to this other one." And then the people that we were with, the one dude, what was it, Ian? Because he was,
Ian, yeah.
he was getting ready to kind of start going in that way. And I was like, "Whoa!" I said, "We're not going in there." I said, we're going into the other one." And I think he even said, "Wait, it's in another one?" I'm like, "Yeah." I think, what did I hear? It made 200 and domestically, it made like $280 million over the weekend.
That's incorrect. So
Okay, hold on.
I'm
Hold
looking
on.
at-
I gotta charge I forgot to fucking put the charger on my laptop. So you go ahead and rattle on the numbers there.
Okay, so according to Box Office Mojo, as of right now, we are $60 million shy of a $500 million worldwide for opening weekend, and that's 4,210 theaters since July 26th. In 3 days, it's almost got $500 million, which is a monster. That's close to, you're talking Infinity War Endgame numbers almost. They're halfway there, which for a Deadpool movie is absolutely insane. Now, let's see if we can bring up. Let's see, Deadpool, just the first one. Let's see, the first Deadpool worldwide grossed 782 million, and Deadpool 2 did 785 million worldwide.
Oh wow! So it did a little bit, just a smidge better.
Yeah, that's worldwide altogether.
Mhm.
I don't know. Well, maybe that is their opening. I don't know, but this one is doing great for being 3 days. $438 million
That's worldwide.
is worldwide.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I said 200 and something, I just meant and
It's
just
205 domestic.
domestic. Okay, yeah. See, when I said 200 and something, that's what which I thought that was a tad low for
It is a little low.
Yeah, for domestic. I mean, you know what I mean. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's probably the best. That's probably the best opening, and probably what, since the pandemic.
Probably.
I mean,
Things trailed off pretty dramatically when the pandemic hit and people didn't want to go to theaters.
Yeah.
And I was even the same. I didn't, but this was pretty affordable. Like, to be honest with you,
I was shocked at how affordable it was.
I saw this for $12. When it comes out, I'm not going to be able to rent it for less than 20.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's astounding.
Yeah.
And we saw it, on a huge screen, and the quality was great. I didn't, aside from that little busted pixel in the corner of the screen.
I couldn't stop looking at the goddamn thing. That's all I kept looking at was that one
just
little green speck.
It was annoying,
Yeah.
but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
So yeah, the general thing, for anybody who doesn't know, is that Wade Wilson is offered a place in the MCU by the TVA from Loki, introduced in Loki season 1. But instead, he recruits a variant of Wolverine to save his universe from extinction. So that is the most spoiler-free that I can be with this movie, because anything else that you're going to find out is just absolutely insane. First off, I like to start off by saying I absolutely adored the opening of the movie. It was fantastic.
So good. So funny.
This movie absolutely astounded me with what they spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe that it was made by Marvel Disney and that they said what they said.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing a lot of people. Well, I guess we can spoil this part because it was in the very first trailer. When Deadpool says that he is Marvel Jesus, apparently some goofy religious people found that part, and then another part that is a spoiler that I will not say. It was a combination of him calling himself Marvel Jesus, and then another part apparently really set some religious people off, and they walked out of the movie and said it was blasphemous. And all these people are coming back being like, you have watched Deadpool before, right? Like, you know what Deadpool's about. Like, that part offended you. I mean, I've said this a million times on here. I am not a religious person. That stuff does not, I'm just not that kind of guy. But when he said it, like I said, first off, I knew he said it because it's in the first trailer. And then still, for people to get up in arms about that,
even if you are a religious person, you should be able to suspend your disbelief just enough to just be like, this is a comic book movie.
Exactly.
He's not on a cross.
Yep. Yep.
Between whatever.
This weekend was just not a very good weekend for religious people. Because I'll go off topic real quick with the opening of the Olympics. They thought
I heard about that.
They thought that these drag queens were depicting the Last Supper. It wasn't even the Last Supper. I'm an idiot. I'm a moron when it comes to this stuff. And I knew when I saw that wasn't the Last Supper, but people just went nuts all weekend boycotting the Olympics. They're going to boycott Deadpool because they're infringing on their religion. I don't know if infringing is the right word. I don't think that's the right word, but it's like, you people need to fucking relax. Anywho.
Right. It's just plain dumb, man. Yeah. That's all there is to it. It's dumb.
But yes, and to elaborate a little on the variants of Wolverine, there was a very cool surprise on that one. How many did we end up seeing? Like 6?
I think 6.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Of course, like I said, no spoilers. But they were all really cool in their own way. And then there was one really cool surprise.
That blew my mind.
Yeah. Well, once I heard you say, because at first I didn't get it. I didn't see that it was the thing that you saw it. When you said, oh my God, it's blah, I was like, what? I'm like, no, it isn't. And I'm like, oh my God, it is. Dude,
I couldn't believe it.
No.
The cameos in this movie were top notch.
Very top notch.
There are so many, and that's not a spoiler, that
Yep. There's
anybody out there who knows what's going on knows there are dozens of cameos in this movie.
when they first go into what's called the void, which I don't think that's not really a spoiler. There's somebody that pops up that you think it's somebody, but then it turns out that's not the somebody that you think it is. And that was a fun little 180, we'll say. And then you had some of just a lot of lot of cameos. You had people from old X-Men movies, newer X-Men movies.
Just like
Just
things that you never expected to see ever again.
Yep.
It's going to come back up, and it's absolutely amazing. And that being said, I can't continue this doing it spoiler free, so we're just going to go ahead and just say this is your official spoiler warning. We've given you a few minutes. Go see the movie. Come back to the bonus pod and listen to the rest of it. But
highly recommend. There's not a lot of movies that I will highly recommend, but this was by far, hands down. This is probably one of my, now that it is part of the, we'll say quote unquote Marvel cinematic universe. I've got this right up here, and that's in my top 5. Easily.
For Marvel movies?
Of all the Marvel movies out, top 5.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
This is the best Deadpool movie for sure.
Yep, hands down, best Deadpool movie. I won't put it above Endgame or Infinity War, but it's right up there. Like I said,
I might put it above Infinity War.
I don't think I can. That ending of Infinity War was just, that the last half hour of Infinity War was just fantastic and depressing all at once. And then when the way it ended, when it was just like, oh my God, this is how the movie ends. I'm like, this is fucked. It was awesome.
Have you ever watched the interview with Mark Ruffalo?
Yeah.
When he's talking about it.
Yeah.
He goes, wait till you see the next one. Everybody dies.
Yeah. Because isn't Cheadle standing or sitting right next to him? And then he like smack him or something?
He goes, dude.
Yeah.
He goes, I'm sorry. No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah. Was it between Ruffalo and Tom Holland? Those two, they could not keep their mouths shut. But no, like I said, if I have to rank them, like I said, just right off the cuff, like without even thinking, I would probably put this at number 3.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I can agree with that in terms of it bounces back and forth because Spider-Man, what is it? No Way Home? Yeah, No Way Home is just as. It's not as, this movie is way more cameo packed than that movie is, but as far as level of importance and showing, different universes, that is right up there.
Yeah.
This is right up there with that.
Yep. Easily.
But again, that being said, that's our rating. This is our spoiler-free version, and we're gonna head right into spoiler territory.
Do we give a countdown? Do we say like
I'm gonna count it down.
Just have like a robotic.
I'm gonna count it down. 3, 2, 1. Blade.
Gambit.
Yeah.
Blade Gambit. Blade blew my fucking mind. Never would I thought I would have seen Wesley Snipes back as Blade. Never.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy. That Elektra coming around the corner.
Yep.
She's the very first one. No, I'm sorry. Johnny Storm is the very first cameo that we see.
Yep. Because when you hear them talk, like I heard of the guy talk, when I heard Chris Evans talking, I was like, okay, that sounds like that voice sounds familiar. Then when he lifted his arm and you'd see the blue and the red, then I'm like, all right, it's not going to be him as Captain America. I'm like, it can't be him as Captain America, can it? And then when he gets up to him, he's like, oh my God, he's going to say it. He's going to say it. And then when he's like, flame on, and then he turns into the flame. I was like, oh my God, what a fantastic, just 180, And
he was just like this, like salty mouth bastard, like crazy. And then, that was the first one. And then you see a bunch of old X-Men. You see Pyro. And Pyro, I mean, I did not think Pyro's powers were that fucking strong.
Yeah.
He just zapped out Johnny Storm's flame like that, like it was nothing.
Yeah. Yep.
And then yeah, you see that. Those are the first. Oh, and Sabretooth. The
Sabretooth.
original
Yeah.
Sabretooth. Not Liev Schreiber.
Right. Which I think I'd have preferred Liev Schreiber, but I mean, this guy was fine. I mean, I had no problem with him because
Yeah.
he was like the first in the very first X-Men movie, so I get it.
So yeah, you got that.
Well, I tell you what, hold it. The very, very, very first cameo is Thor when they're at the TVA
Oh yeah.
and they're looking at the screen, and then because you can then because Deadpool's like, wait, why is he crying? Like, why is he fucking crying? You know. So that's not that you can really call it a cameo, but that's the first like non-Deadpool or Wolverine that you see is him for. I mean, you don't even hear him talking. It's literally what Chris Hemsworth for 3 seconds.
10 seconds. Yeah.
Yeah. He's got a
He's,
big
like,
ass
holding-
score. Did
holding
you
the-
see that? He's got that big scar. It looks like he's got like 2 big staples in his head too. I don't know if
Who, Deadpool?
No, Thor.
I apparently didn't pay that much attention
Yeah.
to it. I was just so happy
Yep.
to be watching
Because what?
that scene happen.
Because Deadpool, like most of his mask was off, Wade Wilson's, and then they showed Thor, and like I said, I think it's like he's got a scar like the whole way down his face, and like I said, it looked like two big staple looking things. I don't know if the Google will have any of that.
Probably not. I 3D printed a bust of Headpool
Oh,
that I found, and I like it. Finding the version from the movie to like paint properly
Mhm.
is so hard.
oh, really?
Yeah, so I don't know if you're gonna find that scene, but either way, it's super cool that they included that.
Yeah.
And then it bumps pretty quickly into uh Wolverine variants. You know, the very first scene of the movie is where he digs up Logan.
Oh my God, that was so funny.
And then yeah, and he's just like my favorite line, I think, in the entire he goes, I can see that you're extremely passed away. And he's just got this metal skeleton and he just fucks up these dudes with this adamantium skeleton.
And then they got I guess he doesn't have staples on his head. It's just a big gash that he has on his head. I found a picture of
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and the soundtrack to this movie it's incredible. It's some of the dumbest but funnest songs. So yeah, you're basically listening to NSYNC Bye 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 as he's just totally fucking these people up. And he's dancing. Of course, of course, I saw yesterday they showed the guy that's doing the NSYNC dancing as Deadpool. Because it's like, oh, Ryan Reynolds didn't do the dancing. It's like, well, yeah, I've kind of figured that.
That would have been cool though.
Yeah.
They should have just left well enough alone. And did you see also that NSYNC changed the title of their official video for Bye 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 on YouTube?
No.
It says NSYNC Bye Bye Bye, official video from Deadpool and Wolverine.
No shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, and I didn't notice that had like a bit of a callback from Deadpool 2 when Celine Dion was singing, and then she was singing, and then Deadpool stops her, and he's like, "You're like at an 11 right now." He says, "This is Deadpool. I need you down to like a 5 or a 6." And then Celine Dion's basically just like, "Fuck you. I'm singing it how I want." And then he comes back with his comeback is, "I should have gotten in sync."
Oh well, that's cool. I didn't realize that.
I saw that on TikTok last night. I don't know if it was a post-credit scene or if it was or what it was. I don't remember that in the movie. I just sent you 2 pictures of Thor. So yeah, I thought
see that. That's
so they
crazy.
were just I thought he had a big long scar. But no, I guess he just had a gash on his forehead. So I stand corrected.
I can't. I mean, it looks like it's in the same scene from Endgame, like
Yeah,
the
the
background.
background. Yep, yep. And then
So I
it
don't know.
makes you wonder because the agent, what was his name, Mister Paradox? Because he's like, oh, you weren't supposed to see that
Yeah,
yet, and it's like, okay, is this like a foreshadowing kind of thing for in a couple years?
I mean, it's definitely
Yeah.
foreshadowing.
Um.
So let's talk. So then you got Tiny Wolverine. That was the first Wolverine
Oh, when
cameo,
you,
which was
oh my God, that was
hilarious.
so funny.
He's like, "Oh, look, it's comic book accurate Wolverine." Because people bitch and bitch about how tall Hugh Jackman
Yeah,
is.
because what did they say? He in the comic, he's considered like only 5'2", 5'3", I thought I saw.
Yeah, something tiny.
Yeah,
They put him in this movie, which was awesome. And then you got like I don't know what you want to call it, like cyberpunk one-handed Wolverine. That was some weird
that
shit.
was weird shit.
And then you go, dude, the Wolverine on the cross or whatever you want to call it. That is the most random
Yeah,
thing
and
that I've ever seen in my entire
I
life.
saw that it's bait. It looked like it was on the cover of a comic book.
Oh, okay. Because
Yeah,
I was like, what the
it's a
fuck?
it's allegedly a comic book accurate um depiction. I don't know. I'm using big words this morning, and I don't know if any of them are correct. But
I think yeah,
uh,
depiction would be
but that was the
proper.
other part that I guess a lot of the religious nuts were fucked off about between
It's
Ryan, but
dumb.
yeah, between Deadpool calling himself Marvel Jesus, and then the way that Wolverine had the stakes in his hands, and even though it wasn't on a cross, it was on an X. Um, people just need to lighten the fuck up.
He just shows up in an ocean of skulls and he goes, "Are you okay?" And then he leaves, and then that's when he goes and he basically runs into just a Wolverine variant, just working on his motorcycle. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh yeah, like this is." I forget exactly what he says, but then later he turns. Then it bounces back and forth, and it comes back to that one, and it turns around, and it's fucking Henry Cavill
Yep.
in the flesh.
Yep. And when you said that,
Fucking
when you're like,
Superman Henry Cavill.
because you're like, holy fuck, how I think you just said Cavill, and I'm like, what? I'm like, no, it isn't. I didn't say that out loud. I was just like, I don't see it. Then I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, it is. And then
I just
and then how I love how
there's
he said it, because he said something about, he's like, we'll treat you so much better than those fuckheads down the street.
oh wow, that is there you go.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyway, yeah, I fucking love that. I know that it's probably likely never going to show back up again, like kind of like John Krasinski as Reed Richards.
Yeah.
I absolutely loved that casting,
Hmm.
and I was like, oh, I really hope he's Reed Richards forever because he was so perfect.
Yeah.
Um, but I know that it'll never pan out where Henry Cavill was Wolverine, but he looked awesome,
He did. He
and I
did.
was like, that was fucking fabulous.
Yep. And then another part is he comes out and it's in a snowy wooded area, and it was a brown Wolverine was in brown, and he's like, "Oh," he's like, "I know this one. You fight the Hulk." And then when Wolverine's claws come up in the reflection of his claws, you could see Hulk's face. And then
Oh
Deadpool
yeah,
turns around, and I don't know how, because he's like, "I'm Marvel Jesus, I need something," and then Hulk just beats the fuck up, punches him. He punches him, and then he like
I
hits a
couldn't tell.
tree.
Could you tell which was it, Norton
I
or
could not,
Ruffalo?
I could not tell at all. Yep, couldn't tell. I just
And then I
assumed.
forgot. Go ahead.
I said I'm just assumed that it was Ruffalo, but I don't know. I've got no
Now
clue.
I was looking at the IMDb credits last night, and it said Rob McElhenney was a TVA agent, but they never made it very apparent.
No, they didn't. And
So I don't know what the fuck one he was.
I did see it, that spoiler. I think it was Saturday morning. Uh, he put on his Twitter. He's like, well, I kind of made the movie, but my face didn't make it. He said my part got cut out. So I thought he made it, but I didn't think he made it, if that makes sense. Like I saw him in the TVA, in the suit.
Huh.
But yeah, you're right. Like, well, which one was he?
He's credited in the film.
Well, that's good.
He's on IMDb for it, but I don't know. That's why I was like, I don't know which one it was. Was he one of the ones that gets killed? Does he say something?
Could he be?
Like,
Could he have been the one where he was screaming when Deadpool had the claws and he had him up the guy's
in his
ass,
nuts?
and he was like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god, it's up my ass!"
maybe.
Maybe it was that one.
I don't know, but the shit that they say in this movie is astounding.
Oh my god.
Like you were on the left side of me, and my wife was on the other side of me, and her jaw was on the floor. She's like, I cannot believe that what they are saying in
Yeah.
this film. And I'm like, yeah,
Oh,
marketed as a Marvel Disney film, and
yeah.
they're just like, they said things like flicking the bean
Mhm.
and just like the suck at Fox line was the best
Oh
thing I've
my
seen in a
god,
long
when he
time.
was like, "Oh, excuse me," and then he walks right up to the camera. He's like, "Suck it, fuck you," because go fuck yourself, and he grabs the microphone and he's just
Headbutts the camera.
that was so goddamn funny. Like I said, it has been so long since I have laughed that much at a movie. It
Yeah,
was
it was
just
a level 10 and funny.
yep, nonstop laughing. Like I know I missed a lot because I was laughing. Um,
And was that Matthew McConaughey?
as Cowboy Deadpool, yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Yep. And
It certainly sounded like him.
and everyone can relax with Lady Deadpool. It was actually his wife, and it was Taylor Swift was not in the movie at all. So you anti-Swifties can calm down.
Are we sure that was his wife?
Yes, 100% sure. Don't
Okay, 'cause
pull
I
that
didn't
on me.
know.
I already had this. Oh, are you sure? Are you sure? It's just a rumor. I've already had enough of that this weekend. I'm 100% positive. When you go to the credits, it says Lady Deadpool. That's the only reason why I know that McConaughey was Cowboy Deadpool. Was literally right below her name was McConaughey
Oh, in the credits?
in the credits. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I didn't even think to look at that.
I didn't look at them when they were playing. It was one of those when I came home on the TikToks. I saw somebody put a picture of it because the kids in that are Ryan Reynolds' kids.
Oh, that's genius.
Yeah. Yep. So it was a family affair.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
So, yeah, and I have to say also the Wolverine's mask, fucking badass.
That was awesome.
So cool.
And what did he say that when he put them on? He's like, "Oh, you only bring these out on special occasions." And then he asked about the blowjob resistance or something. It's like,
The
how's the
blowjob handles.
yeah, that's the blowjob handle.
He
Oh,
said that, and whenever he first walks out with the suit, and he goes, "Wow, that only took 20 fucking
yeah.
years." It's so funny.
Oh, yeah.
So there's way too much to unpack. We could probably do a whole episode on it,
Yeah.
but we're not gonna. We're just gonna let you guys take what we said and go and watch it for
It
yourself.
had a great ending. The serious parts were very nice and serious. Like I said, soundtrack was incredible. The ending I thought was a very, very good ending. Didn't leave it too wide open for anything in the future, I don't believe. Like
That's what I was confused about. I
Yeah.
guess that's something I was confused because the whole point of the movie was to converge Deadpool into the MCU, but instead he's like, "Well, I don't want to do that. I want to save my universe because that's where all the people that I love are." Yada yada yada. So they do that, and that's how it ends. Like it doesn't, so it doesn't leave it open in terms of like, hey, Deadpool has connections with the TVA now,
Mhm.
so now he can head over and join the MCU when he wants to.
Yeah.
Or is Deadpool's timeline, since it's like big and healthy now, like
Yeah. And here
is
was
that going to be the new one?
Yeah. And here was the other part that had me confused. So they're in the void, and then you got Elektra comes out, Blade, Gambit, and X-23 comes out. They all go to Ant-Man's body to fight. And we cut to all that shit that happens at the end, but at the very end, X-23 is sitting there at Wade's apartment.
Well, he says to the TVA agent, like, "Hey, there's some friends we have that are in the void. Can you like bring them out?"
Yeah, and then she said, "I'll
And
see what I can do." But we don't see any of the other ones. So did they, so that I guess that's one part that leaves it open. So we know X-23 is in this universe. Whatever it was called. What was it called? Earth 10,005 or whatever.
something like that, yeah.
Which that had me a little confused too. See, the whole multiverse I'm still not 100% comfortable with. Like I still haven't watched Loki season 2. And I just don't know cuz what was it? Uh all of the Marvel movies are based on excuse me. Was it Earth 6? What was it numbers? Like 616 or 615 or something like that?
616.
616. Okay. So, because that part had me confused, because it was like he does that, then they show him like what was it, 4 years earlier, Wade's applying to become an Avenger, and he's talking to Happy, and then it said Earth 616 or whatever, and then cut to, and then it said Earth, like I said, 10,005 or whatever. So, like I said, the whole TVA thing just has me just a smidge confused. I just always just
I mean,
assume
they
that
can-
I'll get it figured out. I will watch Loki season 2. I think now that I'm kind of in a Marvel kind of mode right now, I could see myself making Loki a pretty high priority into something to watch.
I was thinking of that, and I was thinking I probably should watch Ant-Man, like the Quantumania.
Yeah,
So I haven't seen that yet. So I figured that those two are maybe important.
maybe. Even though what Quantumania's got Kang, and Kang doesn't mean shit now. But that's not the
Right.
point. It's still the point is about timelines and everything. So that part, like I said, would maybe have me knock it down from a 10 to a 9.5 just because of a smidge of confusion. But I'm not going to really knock it because somebody, somebody I'm sure can easily explain it to me. And then
I
it'll
mean,
make sense.
if you're a person who's never watched a Marvel movie or a Deadpool movie or an X-Men movie, and you walk into this movie, you're going to be wildly confused.
Very confused. Yes.
This is not for I don't know. It's crazy. And then this movie is sort of being drowned out by even bigger news, which is spoilers ahead. But they just announced at San Diego Comic-Con that Robert Downey Jr. is returning, not as Iron Man, but as Doctor Doom, which is fucking insane to me. I don't know how they're gonna do that. I don't know
No.
anything about it. I feel remarkably like that's cool, but
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Amanda, Deadpool and Wolverine sounds like Urban Dictionary's popcorn movie, an infamously subjective term that refers to certain movies that don't carry much intellectual depth but packed with action, excitement, and enough appeal to the massive audience. So yeah, I would agree, yes and no.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, this is something that I know Autumn would enjoy, but she would also be confused. I know she would laugh her ass off, but I guarantee you there would be a lot of times when she'd be like, "Well, what is this?" Because there's at some point
That's
when I
exactly what was
like
happening to me. Could you hear Tammy next to me? She's like, because I would be like, "Whoa!" I was like, "Electra." She goes, "Who's that?"
yeah,
I was like, "That's Blade." Holy shit!
Yeah.
She goes, "Who's that?"
yeah,
And at one point, like, because I was holding her hand, and I squeezed her hand when Gambit showed up, and she goes, "Ow, what the fuck?" And I was like, "That's Gambit." I was like, "I can't believe it. That's Channing Tatum. It's Gambit."
Oh man, yeah. So I can pretty much like agree with it being called a popcorn movie. But like I said, just another one of those. It's like yes and no. Because once they see the TVA, see, Autumn did watch season 1 of Loki with me, so she would have a little bit of an idea. But like I said, I still don't have that great of a grasp on the whole TVA and timelines and multiverses and all that shit.
Like you said, Loki might have a better explanation.
Maybe. But yeah, just the amount of cameos and callback, like how, oh my God, what the hell was her name? Cassandra. Cassandra Nova is Charles Xavier's twin sister. Like, what the fuck? Like, I didn't know that was even a thing. Like,
I didn't either.
and then, when
She was ruthless.
she was ruthless, she was pretty.
She didn't give a shit.
I didn't mind her as a villain. She was a pretty damn good villain.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't do anything, but
No, but
she was menacing.
yeah, she needs to eat. That's what when she took her coat off there when they went into Wade's world. I was like, God damn, that is one bony bitch. Like, just have a fucking burger, eat something. But yeah, like I said, she talked about, oh, I got this from what'd she call him, a close-up magician or something like that.
Oh yeah.
And then it was then she started to make the portal, and of course Deadpool's like, oh, the what do you call it, the sparkles,
Marvel sparkles.
Marvel sparkles. Oh,
Marvel sparkle circle.
yeah. Oh my god, just so many fucking things. That whole scene with Johnny Storm when they go into that thing and they're like, yeah, Johnny Storm called you this and that, and he's like, whoa, I didn't say any of that.
Dude, she ripped that fucker's skin right
Right
off. I
off.
was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like, that was probably the most gruesome thing in the entire movie. I mean, you got
Easily.
like Deadpool killing people and whatever, and
Yeah.
Wolverine chops off fucking Sabretooth's head and shit. Like, easily the most gruesome thing was Cassandra Nova ripping off
Yep.
Johnny Storm's skin. 'cause
Easily. Yep.
Whole thing. I was like, what the fuck? He just collapses to the ground. I was like, dude, holy god.
Oh, yeah, it was
But
just so many good things. Like I said, some confusing parts, of course. But like I said, yeah, how you said with Robert Downey Jr. coming on board, the Russo brothers are going to direct the next two Avengers movies, which, what I think 2 years ago it was considered to be called the Kang Dynasty, and now it's, what is it? This first one that's coming out in 2 years is called Doomsday, and then the one after that is Secret Wars.
now Secret Wars is a convergence of timelines.
Okay,
So I'm assuming by the end of Secret Wars, everything's going to be in one.
gotcha. I know.
Now, I would be hard pressed to think that Secret Wars will triple, even quadruple down on the cameos.
Okay.
There will be everybody.
And it's really what they say. It's only 3 years from now is going to be Secret Wars.
They'll probably film them back to back.
I would assume, yeah.
Fantastic Four is going to have great precedence in the next thing. Now, I did learn it is definitely a 60s movie.
Yes.
It takes place in the 60s. It's even filmed in a 4:4 aspect ratio, just like the beginning of WandaVision was, to make it feel like a 60s film.
Would you call it 4:4 Wonder Vision?
No, 4:4 aspect ratio,
Oh.
the same way that WandaVision was filmed.
I guess I got the word. Okay. 4:4. I don't know what that means. Okay.
It's like old school, so
Yeah.
you'll have like the bars on the side.
Oh, now I know. Okay, that was dumb of me. I know what you
Like
mean.
Old
Yeah.
sitcom, like the Brady Bunch is filmed in 4:4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. That was stupid. I know. Yeah.
So you'll have that, and that they from what I understood, they introduced Galactus. There's a trailer for Fantastic Four that's on the way.
Yeah, there's they showed some set photos. Or it was let me try see if I can send this to you. There's like 4 or 5 pictures. Let's see. I'm going to forward this. This will end up coming to your messenger.
Okay.
Yeah, because they didn't really start filming. I guess they said they're going to start filming like tomorrow. So I don't know where these came. I think they said this came from like test footage. I don't know if that's how they said it. But one of the pictures is you can see Galactus that thing's eyes. Like Galactus.
So that's the thing on a dating show. That's
on the dating game. Yeah. Yep.
I
So,
don't see Galactus eyes anywhere in
oh,
any of these.
you don't? Okay, well, it's somewhere. Hold on. Let me. I feel like Brett sent me. Oh, here it is. Okay. Sorry for the dead air here, folks. I'm trying to do now. This one's gonna come to your uh, text message. I just say I knew Brett sent it somewhere.
Oh, okay.
There you go. So
Oh, wow,
yeah,
that's interesting.
and then
Who's playing Galactus? Javier Bardem.
isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know either. I didn't know. No, I feel like it was somebody that I'd never even heard of. Um, because this is another one of those I don't know.
Oh, yeah, Ralph Inessen.
Yeah, yeah. See, I have no idea who the fuck that is. Um, he. This is another one. See, this is my problem with Marvel. I'm not saying that it's my problem, but and I've said this on here before. Growing up, I was a DC guy. I was not a Marvel guy at all. So I had no, I knew the name Thanos, didn't know anything about him. I knew the name Doctor Doom only because I had a couple Spider-Man comics, and Doctor Doom was the villain in those comics. Um, Galactus, I've never even heard of until, just the last 2 or 3 years. Well, I guess probably more than 2 or 3 years when they talk about who the next villain would be. So I have no idea anything about Galactus or, like I said, any story of Doctor Doom. Um, so I've got a lot to learn here. And I know, like I said, I'll be shocked if Doctor Doom does not show up in Fantastic Four in some aspect, even as like a post-credit scene. I don't know. Is he old? Would he be like, I don't know how, like, since Fantastic Four is going to be set in the 60s, would Doctor Doom even still be quote unquote alive? Or
Oh, I don't
would
know.
they be able to do timeline shit or, multiverse shit? With that, I don't know. Well, I mean, they're going to have to because Fantastic Four, they've already announced, is going to be in the next two Avengers movies. So they're going to have to figure out some way. There'll probably be some timeline thing because they announced, I think the Russo brothers announced Saturday that not only is the Fantastic Four definitely going to be in the Avengers movies, but the Thunderbolts are going to be in it too.
Oh, yeah, they had some kind of yeah, Thunderbolts footage.
Yeah. It sounded from what people, because that really wasn't high on my list. I mean, I love David Harbour. He'll always be Harbour to me. But I like as what his character's name is that he was in Black Widow because he'll be the character in this one. The hell's his name in it?
Right.
Is it Red Guardian? Red. That what it was? Red something. But from the, when you hear what the audience said when they played what they played, they're like, it looks like it's going to be a pretty good movie. So we'll see.
I'm excited for it.
Yeah. Like I said, I was very much dead on Marvel stuff. Like, I was just so put off with God, our Lord of God, and what the fuck was the last Thor movie called? Love and Thunder.
Love and Thunder, yeah.
That just set me so far off that it left a horrible taste in my mouth with anything Marvel. Even when I watched No Way Home, I was just like, yeah, it's good. And then I was just like, nah. Like I said, this movie this weekend really lit that spark of wanting to, dive on in to some more Marvel stuff.
Same here.
And what the hell was I gonna say? I was gonna say something because like I said, even the Captain America trailer, I was just like, meh. I'm like, eh.
Yeah, it's not great.
Yeah, like, it's just, I don't know. It just really didn't do it for me. But like I said, I don't know. Like, these damn Comic Cons will do this to me though. They get my hopes up. I'll watch, the highlights of the panels and stuff, and then, I saw the people that came out for Thunderbolts, and then when you hear what the trailer looked like, and then when you had the cast of Fantastic Four, and you see those pictures and stuff, and it's like, all right, well, maybe it's headed back, in the right direction here. But we'll see. I don't know. It's just Robert Downey Jr. still just I can't stop thinking about that, and it's just like, how's that
Yeah,
gonna work?
it's so weird.
Yeah, but
But I mean, do yourself a favor and check out, the wiki for Doctor Doom. Like it lists all of his powers. He's ridiculous. Like
okay, because wasn't he the villain in one of the fantastic? Was it the first Fantastic Four movie?
yes,
But I didn't watch any of those. The ones with Chris Evans as the Flamer. What was his name? Human Torch? Flaming Torch?
Human Torch. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't watch either of those movies. So I don't really, and I don't know if the dude that played Doctor Doom did him any justice. I'm guessing not, but I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. He was all right, I guess, but he had he was defeated really oddly,
Uh,
in
um,
my personal opinion.
yeah. But I think that is what I even might hit the YouTubes and watch, wikis, and between wikis and YouTubes, you know, check up on Doom and who Galactus is and all that shit, because I don't have a clue.
Yeah. And as you shouldn't. Like it's not
I mean,
there's so much.
yeah. Now, Brett and Doug in our one group chat, they do a very good job explaining stuff, to me. And I know they have explained these guys to me before, but it's been so long now that I have completely forgotten. But they're very, very knowledgeable when it comes to, the comics of this stuff. And I do remember not only those two, but my brother-in-law always says, if you ever find I guess they do like a thick, like all the comics all together based on Secret Wars. Can't say wars today for some reason. He said if you can ever find it, get it. And it's like, I don't know, it's like, I don't know how many comics they say it's all bunched into one storyline.
Like a compendium.
Compendium, that's the word I wanted to. Yeah. And I know I saw one time. We were at Barnes and Noble, and I remember taking a picture of it and sending it to my brother-in-law and being like, "Is this what you say I should get?" Because this was like before Infinity War, before like right around when we were finding out about the Infinity Stones and all that shit. So this was 6 years ago, 7 years ago. Because he was even saying, he's like, I guarantee you after the Infinity Gauntlet, it's going to be Secret Wars. It's going to come up at some point. And I remember I had that stash of comics. It was all in one, and it was like 15 or $20. And I'm like, is this it? And he's like, yes. He's like, get it. And guess what? I didn't get it. But
Oh well.
yeah. But I mean, all you got to do is get on Amazon, and I'm sure I can find it.
Or you just watch a YouTube video of everything you need to know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sure before his passing, Comicstorian probably did it 10 times over.
Oh, yeah, that guy. Yeah, right there. Look at that. Secret Wars, $21.79. Right there, bestseller. It is
Probably worth reading.
let's see. $21.79. I was seeing how many pages it is. It's shit. Overview, blah blah blah, blah blah blah, and blah blah blah. There's some Deadpool shit. 312 pages.
Damn.
That is a lot of Secret Wars. All right, just couldn't say it again. Huh.
All right. Well, should we end the bonus pod then? And
Yeah, let's end the bonus. I think we've hit. Oh my God, there's a lot of goddamn characters on the cover of this.
oh yeah, I'm pretty sure they're all going to be in the movie too.
Jesus, because there's the Thing, there's Spider-Man.
They
There's
better have a big budget for it, man.
that looks like Captain Marvel. There's someone and other people. A lot of people. Yeah. Yeah. We'll go ahead and in the pod. I got this cough too. Yeah. So yeah. Hope everyone enjoyed it. Hope we talked people into going to see it, or even if we didn't talk them into see it, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure that we'll eventually go see it.
Yeah. I'm not I'm like can't focus. I'm looking at all these pictures on because there's another cover, Marvel Superheroes Secret Wars, and there's Hulk, Iron Man, Spider-Man, Captain America. There's Cyclops, the Thing, She-Hulk. Looks like Daredevil, maybe?
Probably.
Holy shit. Yeah, that's gonna be wild. All right.
Hopefully they do it right and they do it justice and it's not convoluted. So
Yes, I don't want anything convoluted.
all right, guys, thanks for joining us for the bonus pod. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.